Bashir, who's joining us from the West Bank right now. Nada, I know you're tracking the Palestinian prisoner release, those 39 Palestinians Israel is now freeing as part of this arrangement. Where do things stand on this front?
Well, if you can see the crowds that have gathered behind me, we're outside the Beitonia municipality building just a couple of hundred meters away from that crossing point where we have now seen buses leaving from the Offa prison, presumably with carrying those 39 prisoners who are being released as part of this exchange agreement with Israel, between Israel and Hamas. As we understand it, of course, there are 24 women, 15 children who are set to be released as part of that total 39 in this first phase. They are the first amongst what is expected to be 150 Palestinian prisoners who are set to be released over the next 4 days, so long as that truce is indeed upheld for those 4 days. And of course, that release was very much dependent on the safe evacuation of those hostages held by Hamas inside Gaza. We were waiting, of course, for that confirmation while those prisoners were in the Offa prison, where they also received checks from the Red Cross. But upon that confirmation, we have now seen buses leaving the Offa prison, and we have seen crowds gathering both at the crossing point and here at the municipality building, where we are expecting those buses to arrive, where we are expecting those prisoners to be released. And we have seen many family members now waiting at this municipality building, waiting for their loved ones, for their sons, daughters, brothers and sisters to be released. We've been speaking to many of them today who have told us that while they certainly welcome this development, for them this is not a moment of total celebration, because of course for them this has come at a heavy price. They say that price, of course, the war in Gaza. For many, they say the release of loved ones from prison simply isn't worth the human death toll that we have seen, the civilian death toll rather, that we have seen in the Gaza Strip. So quite a statement from many of these families. But as you can see, the local community here has certainly shown up here in the occupied West Bank. We've seen people travelling from across the West Bank, it has to be said, to meet these prisoners who are set to be released here. And of course, we have seen fireworks now being set off earlier in the day, in the afternoon. In fact, we did see some tensions, some clashes between some of those who had gathered at the crossing point and Israeli forces at the crossing point. Israeli forces throwing tear gas at these crowds, where the crowds had gathered, where many members of the press were at that point in time. And in return, we saw young people, young men throwing stones at Israeli forces. So some minor clashes there. And as we understand it, according to the one person, a 16-year-old boy, was injured after being shot with live fire in the area where we had been reporting from a little earlier in the day.